All right. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. We are continuing with Lesson 19, Describing Comparisons, and we are on day 4. Let's review. Our learning standard is RI8, and our objectives are we can describe how sentences in a text are connected by comparisons, as well as describe how paragraphs in a text are connected by comparisons. Our learning target is that I can describe the connections between ideas in a text that will help me understand what the author is explaining. Two of our key academic talk vocabulary words are connections and comparison. Connections. That's how sentences and paragraphs are connected and why the connections are important. Comparing means showing how two or more things are alike and different. Signal words are however, but, different, and unlike. Ooh, we are diving into a interesting new text today. Are you ready? So, before we begin, let's talk about some of the key things of our article. Our text is from Writing on a Wasp's Nest by Casey Harding. Now, it's important to note that this is a wasp. If you ever seen it outside, you don't want it to sting you. The genre or the type of article or text that we're reading is a history article. So that means we're going to learn about history. As you read, here are some important words to know: mixture, recipe, and ingredients. So as you know, when you have a recipe, you will have to have different ingredients that go inside what you're making, and the mixture is what you mix up. Let's begin. You're outside on a warm spring day. You hear a buzzing sound over your head. On a nearby tree branch, you see a nest shaped like an upside down umbrella. Wasps! Are you scared, or do you try to get a better look? Now think about this. A nest like that one led to the invention of something you would have had a hard time living without: paper. Before paper was invented, the ancient Chinese wrote on pieces of silk cloth, but silk was expensive. The Empress, or Queen of China, wanted something to write on that was cheaper and easier to make than silk. So she asked a palace worker named Cai Lun to find a new material to write on. This happened about 1,900 years ago. According to the story, Cai Lun remembered seeing an empty wasp's nest as a boy. The nest was made of a strong, lightweight material. Cai Lun knew that he could create a material like the wasp's nest. He could solve the Empress's problem. Paragraph 4. The job wasn't easy. It took Cai Lun 3 years to come up with the perfect mixture. Remember, mixture is when you mix different ingredients together: tree bark, scraps of fishing nets, and water. He boiled and beat the mixture into mush. Today we call the mush pulp. Then he stretched out a piece of cloth across a wooden frame and dipped it onto the pulp. When he lifted the frame, a thin layer of pulp remained on top of the cloth. After drying in the sun, the layer formed cogs, which means paper made from the bark of a mulberry tree. The Chinese were proud of Cai Lun's invention and tried to keep the recipe for cogs a secret. So slowly, traders from China brought cogs to Japan, Northern Africa, and Europe. As the use of cogs spread, the ingredients changed. In Europe, the people used cloth rags instead of tree bark. The rags worked well, but there was not enough to make all the paper that people wanted. Today, paper is still made in the same basic way that Cai Lun made it thousands of years ago. Wood is cut into small pieces, then broken down into pulp by large grinding machines. The pulp is sprayed onto a wire screen and heated until the paper is dry. We make different papers for different uses: soft tissue, stiff cardboard, colorful construction paper, smooth paper for computers, and glossy paper for magazines. They look and feel different, but they are all made from wood. Would you have thought that a wasp's nest could lead to a product we use every day? Before you run from those wasps, thank them for sharing their recipe for paper and changing our lives. Then you can run. After all, you don't want to get stung. I want us to pause to look at this illustration. This caption right here tells us what's going on. A worker dips a frame into pulp to make a large sheet of paper. Okay. Use what you learned from the selection to respond to these questions. It is key that you go back and reread the paragraph to find the information. It is so critical. We can't just rely on our memories to answer the questions. It's key that we go back. So in number 1, it asks us, as explained in paragraph 2, paragraph what? Great job. How did the new writing material need to be different from the silk cloth that was being used? Let's go back and be text detectives. Before paper was invented, the ancient Chinese wrote on pieces of silk and cloth, but the silk was expensive. Okay, so we know the silk was too expensive, and the empress wanted to make something that would be cheaper and easier to make. Let's see which answer supports that. Is it A, it needed to be stronger and heavier? That wasn't it. B, it had to be cheaper and easier to make than silk? That's a possibility. We saw that in the text. C, it had to be more colorful than silk. We didn't see that. And D, it had to be made from the bark of trees. No. So our best answer was B. Excellent. Let's go to paragraph 2. As described in paragraph 5, how is paper making in Europe different from paper making in China? So let's go back and search. Okay, we're looking for Europe. Okay, right here. In Europe, the people use cloth rags instead of tree bark. They worked well, but there was not enough to make all the paper people wanted. So, is it A, in Europe there are more rags available than tree bark? B, in Europe paper was made from a wasp nest instead of tree bark? No, that was in China. C, paper was made from cloth rags instead of tree bark? Possibility. And D, in Europe the rags worked much better than tree bark. What do you think? Share your answer with somebody next to you. If you pick C, you were spot on. Okay. The nest was made of a strong, lightweight material. What is the best way to figure out the meaning of lightweight? I'll let you do that on your own. If you pick C, it's made of the words light and weight, so it means not heavy. You're right. Okay. I'm going to allow you all to do this on your own, and then we'll come together. So paragraph number 4, part A says, how is paragraph 6 connected to the other paragraphs in the article? Okay. So it's always important when you see the word connected, it's like related, like relative. Like you and your parents or your guardians are connected, you're related. So, paragraph 6 talks about how the way paper was made when Saloon made it thousands of years ago is similar to how we do it today. So let's see which one matches up. It compares how paper is made today to the description of how Saloon made in paragraph 4. That's potential. It compares Saloon's paper to types of paper as described in paragraph 7. It shows how writing materials have changed from what was described in paragraph 2. Or it shows how Saloon's paper is different from the wasp nest described in paragraph 3. Let's see. Exactly. It compares how paper is made to how Saloon created it years ago. Let's remember, if we look back to that first paragraph, it says today paper is still made in the same basic way that Saloon made it thousands of years ago. Now, which one supports it? Whoop, we already discovered that. Today, paper is still made the same basic way that Saloon made it thousands of years ago. C. Excellent. So at this time, you're going to, in your packet, complete numbers 5 and 6 on your own. Please remember to keep all of your packet work, and we'll collect it once we come together again. So for number 5, from paragraph 7, it says they look and feel different, but they're all made from wood. So a sample response you could use is the sentence is comparing the types of papers described in the sentence before it. It tells how those types of paper are different and alike. Number 6. Which sentence best describes the connection between paragraphs 3 and 4? So what you would do is go back to paragraphs 3 and 4. Excellent. If you picked A, you're spot on. All right, so here is your exit ticket. Comparisons are used throughout this article to help readers understand more about the history of paper. So your first step for your exit ticket is to reread the article and underline every comparison that you find. So you're comparing the way different groups of people have made paper. Your second one is you're going to write a list of comparisons you found in the answer box below. So what that means is you're going to click on your exit ticket that's in the description box, and the same question will be on the exit ticket online. Be sure to complete your exit ticket online. Also, you will need your list from today to help you for your exit ticket for tomorrow. So be sure to write down your list in a place where you can find it when you complete your work tomorrow. That's all, folks.